Hey, what's up? I want to start collecting some thoughts about a few different things I've been thinking about. I thought I'd make some brief videos about it so I've got everything in one place. One of the things that I think is starting to come up a lot in modern society is called the law of rent, which is what I've titled this video. Um, I'll link to the Wikipedia article below, but this was first proposed in 1809, and it's something I seem to be observing in my daily life, and I think this is something that's affecting the Western society significantly. There's a quote here from Adam Smith about the law, which says, "Rent of land, therefore, is considered as the price paid for the use of the land. It is naturally a monopoly price. It is not at all proportioned to what the landlord may have laid out upon the improvement of the land, or to what he can afford to take, but to what the farmer can afford to give." I'm convinced this must be one of the most significant factors affecting the so-called housing crisis in the Western world. A lot of people have talked about this, and I've seen various reports from all over various different countries in the world just saying basically that rent and mortgage payments are too high, and that many countries believe that they're in a housing bubble. But I don't see how there could be a housing bubble in the entire world. It must be something going on here. I'm convinced that this is just a feature, essentially, of our capitalist society. That because land is a natural monopoly, as Adam Smith said, any investment in land will pay dividends forever, essentially, if you're renting it out. In a world where we need to work for a finite amount, we can't really have a scenario where a normal investment returns indefinitely on investment, especially when there's only so much land to go around. We're starting to see some fairly significant distortions in the market as people are buying land and just holding it and not developing on it, because developing extra houses harms the housing market. This is significantly bad for many people in the population. Okay, it serves the needs of a capitalist investment scenario where banks are getting mortgages and so on, and they're earning money off that, and that is good. That is something I'm in favour of, investment and capitalism and so on. But it can't come at uh, the expense of the average life of a family in society. I mean, that surely has to be our priority. I've been motivated on a personal level to make this video because I've seen my rent go up by a significant amount. I think around 15% or more. And I have a good job in the middle of London. I should be able to easily afford everything I need, and I can. But the only thing that I'm struggling with is rent, and I'm seeing that widely. So my family is struggling with rent. Anybody who bought in the last 15 years or so are struggling to afford accommodation, even when they have extremely well-paying jobs, even much better than mine. So that can't be sustainable. And especially this has to be a problem for anybody who's doing a service level job. Those people, you can't pay them more than a certain amount, otherwise a business becomes unprofitable. By their nature, those are temporary jobs. But where are these people supposed to live? If somebody needs to be a barista or something in London, that doesn't really pay enough money to afford an apartment in the majority of London. So I've always wondered where these people are living and how they're getting by day to day. We could end up, we're moving towards a society in which these people are living in temporary accommodation, or they're living with their parents, or they're coming over for small amounts of time. I think a lot of these people are immigrants from Poland and otherwise. And what we're doing with the housing market is leading us to exploit very poor people in order to pay richer people who were lucky enough to get on the housing market at a certain point in the past. I don't want to pontificate about this any more than I already have, but the reason why this is important is that we're starting to look at solutions to widespread poverty, or whether or not poverty is going to continue or not. And one of the solutions being thrown out there is increasing the minimum wage. Jeremy Corbyn has recently proposed this, and if the law of rent is correct, then that just simply is going to have no effect. An increase in rent will deliberately and unavoidably cause the payday for landlords to increase, not significantly improve the life of anybody earning, well, not at all improving the life of anybody earning minimum wage. Their rent will just go up by that much. I think that's very likely considering the rise in rents recently. I've heard that rents are rising up till around 9% per year. So what I need to find for my next video is information about the average rate of rent increase in Britain and the average rate of wage increase in Britain, and this is for the average earner. That should give us some information about how wages are affecting rent prices across the country. That'll let us know whether or not the law of rent is in effect in Britain. And well, I don't have a solution, but at least we can look at the problem honestly. I guess sorry for the boringness of this video. Have a cool picture of some dinosaurs, and I don't know, I'll think about how to make the next one more interesting, or maybe I'll just talk again in a monotone voice, and since nobody's listening to this anyway, I mean, the entire point of this really is just to document what I find so I can make a more convincing video later. Anyway, thanks for listening if you bothered. Fuck off.